Hello, my friends. It's Friday night, and here we go. I'm sorry I'm a couple of minutes on late tonight. I'm still trying to work out what I'm doing with my new computer. I'll get there, I promise. But I hope you're all well. I hope you've had a great week and ready for some crafty fun tonight. I'm just going to quickly look at the comments. So we had a couple of early girls here tonight. Early birds get the worm. That's what they say. But I don't know. If you're early, you don't get much here at all, do you? Oh, that's okay, Monique. Maybe next time, and maybe we'll have a replay. So, well, there will be a replay. Maybe you can watch it. Hey, Gina. Nice to see you. It's snowy where you are. So it's an early snow, is it? Is November early for snow? Oh, okay. It's 2 a.m. Yep. All right. Well, I'll do my best to keep you awake, but I won't be offended if you need to have a little sleep and watch back tomorrow. Hey, Rose. Nice to see you. Hi, Cherie. Hi, Alison. Sorry, Sunny. I always see your name and I read it and it says Alison, but I know that your name is Sunny. So how did you get Sunny out of Alison? That's what I'd like to know. So there you go. Yeah, we'll miss Monique tonight. That's right. Oh, Rose, 5 more treatments next week. Oh, yes, crafty thoughts. That's right. What do we say? This is a negativity-free zone because we're all trying to escape something, aren't we? I have to be really honest with you and tell you I've had a really hard week. But that's okay. It's the weekend and we're going to craft. So that's right. Yes. Okay. Look, text is not erased, Sunny. If you feel like you're slow, that's okay. You know, you get there in the end, right? Hey, Cindy, nice to see you. Yes, see, Margaret's saying she presses the wrong buttons all the time. So, yeah, we all do that sometimes. Oh, Cherie, that's big news. I hope you're going to be okay and take it easy. Maybe you can get some craft done while you're recuperating, maybe if you feel like it. No, we don't want worms. That's right. Hey, Cheryl, nice to see you. All right, so oh, son from Alison, maybe. Ah, got it. Okay, now I see. I'm sorry I didn't see the correlation before. Oh, thanks, Charmaine. Thank you. Very excited to have you in the team too. All right, so I'm just going to go down a little further. I'm sorry if I don't say hello to everyone by name, but we have quite a crowd here tonight. So let's get started. And some of you would know or suspect what I might be going to play with tonight. So I'm going to switch over to the desk and let's see how we go. All right, everyone's got the desk view. All right, so this week we had a new release. I think you've all seen some of it. The new suite or a new collection that's called Fitting Florets. Has anyone been noticing this beautiful suite? So this is actually like the flyer that Stampin' Up makes for us. And you can see they've always got some nice sort of samples and bits and pieces here that that you can have a little look at what you might be able to do with it. That's lovely. But the actual components of the collection are here on page 2. And it is it's a collection in that you can order all of it. Everything you see me use tonight is available for purchase. Okay, everything. But the Fitting Florets collection is all of these things. You can put in one code, the collection code, and purchase the whole lot. Or if you're not so keen on everything, you can go through and handpick the items that you actually want. Or you might decide, well, this week or this month I'm going to get these things, and next month I'll get those things. You can do that. Oh, thanks, Carol. That's really lovely of you. Thank you very much. No, I need a haircut, Jody. I did not have a haircut, but I was kind of I washed it yesterday, and yeah, it does different things on different days. I don't always have a choice about what my hair does. It does its own thing. Yes, the papers are beautiful, Charmaine. You're absolutely right. Here's the thing. I'm going to share a little secret with you guys, okay? Everyone's saying, oh, fantastic. You've had a great year. It's been terrific. Actually, I had a better year last year. Last year was better. I did more sales last year, probably about $1,500 more. So not a huge difference, but enough to say, yeah, I definitely did better last year. But obviously other people must have had a maybe not such a great or a more challenging year, because I was higher in the rankings this year, even though, oh, thank you. Thanks, Margaret. Well, see, I watched it yesterday. That's what happens. So yeah, it's really interesting. Some years you're up and some years you're down, but it kind of depends on what everybody else is doing, because you can't control where you turn up in the rankings. You can't actually manage that. I can just do the best I can, but I can't control where I'm going to fall at the end of the year. But I was really excited. Let me tell you, I'm going to share a personal secret with you, and you might think I'm a little bit silly. Okay. Every year Stampin' Up does like a top 5 in each of the different criteria, like, whether it's leadership or team building or sales, they do a top 5, and they also do a top 10 overall, okay, when you add all the different things together. Well, if you fall in the top 10 for overall, or in the top 5 for any of the individual criteria, you get, well, usually, I don't know if it's happening this year, they haven't said, but usually there's a little prize, okay? And nearly every single year I fall just outside, all right? And so I don't get a prize. I do okay, but I'm always like, one more place and I could have got a prize. Well, this year I got a prize, guys. I'm in the top 5 for sales and the top 10 for overall. So that's pretty exciting. But like I said, it's not because I did better this year than I did last year, because I did better last year. It's just, this is the way the chips fell this year, so you can't always control it. I hope that makes sense, what I'm saying. Does that make sense? Hey, everyone. Hey, Nola. Nice to meet you. Oh, we've got another person from Oregon. So Jean's from Oregon as well. Is Jean here tonight? I haven't seen her yet. Did anyone notice if Jean snuck in? But yeah, beautiful part of the world, Oregon. Absolutely gorgeous. I went up the west coast of the US from LA up to Seattle some years ago, up Highway 1, and absolutely beautiful. We took our time and it was just the most gorgeous holiday. We did it in 3 weeks and it was just beautiful. Oh, thanks, Denise. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Jody. It is exciting, but yeah, like I said, I have no control at all. All right, so let's see what's in this beautiful suite. Okay, we have 2 stamp sets. Well, we have one main one. Okay, this one is called Framed Florets. Okay, and it has a matching die set. This is the exciting thing about this set, is you'll notice that if I can say it properly, the Framed Florets stamp set and the Framed Florets dies not only match in the way they work together, but they have the same name. This is a new thing Stampin' Up are doing, and I'm so happy. Okay. Hi, yes, Anita, you caught me live. Hi. Oh, thanks, Sharon. Thank you very much. Thanks, Jennifer. So the very exciting thing is that the Frame Florets and the Frame Florets dies, the stamp set and the dies, now have the same name, and they're going to be doing this from now on. They've listened to us because we've been saying for ages, please give them the same name. It just makes it easier for us to know what goes together, and it makes a lot more sense. So now these guys have got the same name. So this is a bundle. Okay, you can buy them separate or you can buy them as a bundle. Okay, then also in addition to that, there is another stamp set that is called Framed and Festive. Okay, so I've got them here. This is the Framed Florets stamp set, and this is the Framed and Festive stamp set. Okay, so they're both part of the total collection, but they're completely separate. This one, the I can't say it properly. The Framed Florets. Good thing I haven't been drinking, guys. Hey, the Framed Florets stamp set matches the Framed Florets dies. Okay, so those go together. But the Framed and Festive set is a separate set. Now, here's what you need to know. The Framed Florets dies and stamps will be in the new mini catalogue that comes out in January. Okay, they're going to be around for a while. However, the Framed and Festive stamp set is only available until that mini catalogue comes out. So I think it's the 4th of January. The 4th of January. Okay, so the 4th of January, and then it's going to be gone. So either the 4th of January or while stocks last, because if it sells out, then it will be gone. Okay, so That's important to know. But the frame florets are going to be sticking around for the new catalogue. Okay, so that's exciting. Now also, so some of this collection is limited release, such as the framed and festive set. There is also some gorgeous little swirls. These are called the gold adhesive backed swirls, and I don't know if you can see them. I had trouble showing how pretty they are. They're very, very nice. Got little swirly design on the top of them. Really, really pretty. These are also a limited release. Okay, you can only get these until the 4th of January, or unless if they sell out, they'll be gone. Okay, and of course, the final thing of all, let me bring it over, is the fitting florets DSP, the designer series paper. And as you can see, I've chopped mine up and done all kinds of things with it, and I might show you some of the things I've done with it actually. So you can see, this is what's nice about this set, is that it has papers that can be used for Christmas. This one absolutely could be used for Christmas. In fact, let me show you a card I made with that this week. You might have seen it if you've been paying attention. You can see I used this paper, but I coloured my berries in red, okay, to make it look a little bit more Christmassy, and then put on the Season's Greetings stamp from the, what set did I use for that? The Merriest Moments. Merriest Moments is the one. That's this Season's Greetings here from this set. And I only did that because I happened to have this lovely little rectangular label floating around, and I thought it'd be a really good size for it. Whereas I could have put the Merry Christmas on from the framed and festive set, but it was a bit small, and I wanted a greeting that was a little bit bigger. Okay, but I didn't want them as big as these guys, so that's why I chose to use a different set. I've used also on here the Evening Evergreen open weave ribbon, which matches really beautifully with this paper. So it turned out, oh, it's 1:45 a.m. Yes, Jean is always telling us what weird and wonderful times of the morning it is, but I haven't seen her here tonight. So I was wondering if you guys know Jean Fitch. I don't know if you know Jean. But anyway, maybe I do need a glass. Yes. Yeah, I might be able to get the words out better. That's true. Maybe I should try that before I do my lives. All right, so the colours in here, we've got a nice grouping of colours. If ever you're wondering what colours are in a designer series paper set, it's always on the back. So it says Balmy Blue, Blushing Bride, Crush Curry, Evening Evergreen, Night of Navy, Polished Pink, and Soft Succulent. They're the colours in this paper. Okay, so that really helps when you come to choosing your cardstock and your inks. You know exactly what colours are in the paper and what's going to match. All right, so you can see there's a lot of blues and greens in here. So this one's got pink on the back, but for the most part, we've got blues and greens. There's some more soft succulent there on the back of this one. That's really pretty. This one has some pinks and blue and a little bit of green, and then some blue on the back, which is really rather nice. And then this one also, that's the same. Then we have some like Evening Evergreen gingham, and on the back of that we have some blue and green again. So you can mix and match. All right, there's blues. I've done some cards with the blues and the greens, and some cards, a couple of cards with the pinks. So I picked up before I started this video, and that one's got the pink in with the blue, which is rather nice. That could definitely be Christmassy. I think I'd use that for Christmas. That one's got polished pink on the back. Nice, aren't they? All right, so more blue and green. Oh, that's the gingham again. And then this is like a little version of this one. This has got your bigger flowers. I don't know if Katrina's watching tonight. Katrina, are you there? Katrina I was really silly. A couple of weeks ago, I showed these this set, and Katrina asked the question, did any of the dies match the paper? And the answer is yes, they do. But only a small number of them. But I thought though what they did have was really nice. So here are the dies. Okay, so you've got these beautiful oval frames. There's 3 different frames. And the nice thing about the oval frames is when you cut out a frame, it leaves behind an oval that you cut out in the middle, and you can then use that. Okay, so I'll show you how I've used the oval on one of these cards in a second. This one here, this one matches some of these. So for example, you can see this perfectly cuts out those little guys there. All right, and I did that on this card. See, I've used those exact ones, and I've put them here on this card. And then there's also these little leaves. I put a couple of those poking out from behind here. This card went up on Instagram this morning. It went up, so you may have seen that one. If some of you are over watching either my Facebook page or my Instagram page, then you would have seen this one. So I've got the So Lucky to Call You Friend, which is one of the stamps out of the framed floret set. This one here, So Lucky to Call You Friend. And see, that definitely doesn't need to be a Christmas card. Notice I've got the silver oval behind here. That was cut out when I cut this oval frame, this frame here. This oval came out of that. Okay, so actually no, it came out of this one because that's a little bit, this one's a little bit smaller. This one is a little bit bigger. All right, so let me put that away. So you can see I've been having a lot of fun. So this is the blues and the greens again. Okay, and I use some of those little soft succulent sparkly gems. Really, really pretty. This one's gone bananas on Instagram. I don't know why, but everybody loved this card. And we made this on a video a couple of weeks ago. Some of you might remember. So once again, working with the blues and the greens, and I added a bit of Winker Stella over these flowers to make them a bit sparkly, and used a soft succulent ribbon. And that's just another oval that was cut out from one of the oval shapes, okay, one of the frames. And then this is one I did, some of you may have seen, this is a video I did this time concentrating on the pinks in the pack, and I did this one just with strips of paper diagonally laid down and then glued down and then run through the cut and emboss machine with my stitched rectangle dies. Very, very simple, but I did a tutorial on how to make that. If anyone wants to make it, there's a tutorial that went up last Friday. So there you go. Hello guys. Hi Ellen. All right, so that gives you a bit of an idea of just some of the things you can do with these, and I think the papers are stunning. The oval frames are just beautiful, just gorgeous, and you can do so much with them. Okay, this is another set that I would call easy to use. So shall we make a card with it right now? I think we should. I'm not waiting for an answer. I'm telling you that's what we're going to do. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Oh, no, really? Do we have some spam? Yeah, let's get rid of those. I shall get rid of them and block them. We go block that person. And whoops, I nearly blocked you, Jody. I shouldn't have blocked anybody. Did I get rid of them all? I think I did. Ah, dearie me. Yeah, I blocked them. It happens. You know what they say when you're getting that kind of stuff, you know, you must be doing something right, that they think that they need to do that on your channel. So I'll take it as a compliment and get rid of them. Block them. I won't block you, I promise. I won't, Charmaine. Ah, there you go. Yeah, it's very nice having the block button. It gives you that, you know, that sense of a little bit of power and rightness with the world. I wish I could block more things in my life sometimes. What do you think about that? All right, so here's some pieces. This is going to be a very easy card tonight. I've gone through. I'm going to go with my blues and greens mostly, and I have gone and cut 3 centimeter squares. Okay, so I'm just checking that is right. Yep, 3 centimeters. And just these were just from some scraps I had left over from those other cards you've just seen. And then I've also got a stitched rectangle, just a white stitched rectangle. This stitched rectangle is 7.5 by 11, 7.5 by 11 centimeters, and that's actually one of the stitched rectangles. Now, if anyone's watching from the US, how much is that? Hang on, I will tell you. I just find sometimes I find it easier to measure it on my trimmer because that's my normal way. So yeah, 3 inches by 4 inches, 4 3/8. Okay, so 3 inches by 4 3/8, or if you're in following metric, it's going to be 7.5 by 11. That's correct. All right. And what I love about these are the stitch rectangle dies, one of my absolute favorite dies. And I think you can see that beautiful row of stitching around the edge. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Ellen. I meaning to do it. But yes, I'll accept that reminder, because otherwise I'm going to forget again. So, yeah, they're out there, aren't they? I think I did forget. Yeah, well, obviously, as you know, your channel grows, you're going to hit a bit of that. Unfortunately, it just happens. All right, so I've got a piece of Balmy Blue, which is card front size, and I've got a piece of folded basic white thick. So this card front size fits just inside my, I'm not going to glue it down yet, but just inside the basic white base. Okay, and if you're wondering what the card front size is in metric, this is 10 centimeters wide by 14.3. Okay, that's your metric measurements. However, if you're in the US, obviously you're going to be working with letter cardstock, so it's a different measurement because we have different sized paper. Did you guys know that? That might be new news for somebody, but I'm sure. Oh, that's okay, Nola. I know how it is, and I try and do that because I do like a craft along once a month where I make a card live and people can craft along with me, and I sell tutorials from those craft along videos as well, and I make sure that I do all the measurements because some of my the people that purchase my tutorials are in the US and require, or Canada, and require imperial measurements. So so for that reason I do my measurements in both, so that everybody can play along. Just makes sense, right? All right, so what I'm going to do here, I've got these 3 centimeter wide pieces, and we're just going to really simply put them onto, whoops, a bit of sticky on the back of that, or it might be sticky on my fingers. And I'm just going to go through and I'm going to lay them out where I think I might want them. So I'm going to pop them here, and then this one. Actually, this one's got a pretty flower on it, so I might substitute that one instead because I like that flower. And I like my flower to go that way. And that's the thing. It's your card. You can decide which pieces you want and which ones look the best. Okay. Now, if you wanted to, you could also put them straight onto here and go, go 3 across. And you'd have enough room for 3 on the base. But I kind of liked just 6 on a raised piece with that stitching. I think the stitching makes it really pretty. So let's grab some dimensionals, and I'm going to put a couple behind each, and because I've kind of lined them up already, so I know where I need them to go. So here we go. I'll pop these here like this. And I'm just going to raise these up because it just gives that a little bit, creates a little bit of shadow, which is nice. Actually, I'm going to put that one down the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that there's the same amount of gap around both, and then the ones in the middle kind of just fill in the place in between. So that's easier than going from top to bottom and then realizing when you get down to the bottom that you've run out of room, or you have too much room. So it's easier to do your 4 corners first. Oh, well, that's the other thing. When I started school, Sunny, way back in the olden days, yeah, we learned imperial and metric quite early on. So because I think, was it 65 or 66 that we went to metric? So I was alive, but barely, just back then. And so by the time I started school, we were doing both. And then gradually it swung over to all metric. And here's an interesting fact. I hope I don't mean to alienate any US people with this, because as some of you would know, my husband is from the US. So here's the thing that is good to know, is that there are only 3 countries in the world that still use the imperial system. Does anyone know what they are? And they're kind of really, really interesting countries. One is the US. We know that one. Exactly, Cherie. That's right. You're absolutely right. It's called letter cardstock in the US, not A4. A4 is just for metric. But here's the thing. There are only 3 countries in the world that use metric, and those 3 countries are the US, Libya, and Myanmar, I believe. Someone can check that bit of information and tell me if I've got it right, but that's as I understand it. And I know it would be a huge logistical thing for America to try and change when they've, you know, been imperial for so long. It would be massive. I don't think it was, whoops, dropped my ink pad. I don't think it was easy for anybody when we went over, but I'm glad we did, because metric is, in my mind, so much easier to work with. I mean, all multiples of 10s and 100s and thousands. It's so much easier than, you know, trying to remember weird things like yards and stuff like that. I'm using some balmy blue on a sponge dauber, and I'm just going to sponge around the edges. Just to darken up those edges and make them look a little bit finished. And then we're going to add a greeting. I just heard my husband come home and probably pick up something he'd forgotten. And he's gone again. All right. Oh, really? Well, no, it shouldn't be. A4 is a metric. A4 is a totally different thing. I could have put them on foam squares, yeah. Although I'm just a big, I do actually have the foam stuff. I just always default to dimensionals because I like them. Just love them. See, I've got foam. I've got the foam, but yeah, I just always seem to default to dimensionals. I do love them. All right, so now it's time for a sentiment, and I am going to be covering up a little bit of what's going on here in the middle, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. And I've got a few choices. I went and before I started, went and cut some vellum. Oh, I'm missing a vellum oval. That's, or is it, hang on, did it fall on the floor? Some of you might know my friend Susan Canfield, and Susan is in the US, but she does something really funny. She has a drinking game every time she says found it. When she loses something during her videos, they all have to take a drink of whatever they're drinking. Of course, you know, that could be anything. It could be coffee. Well, I guess we're not using an oval. This is a big, I think that maybe is too big and it covers up too much in here in the middle. So let me go down to the next size. Let's see, that's better. So I'm thinking of a vellum and then a white circle under that. Also, what would be nice, you know, I love vellum, but also under nice would be the white sparkly, the glimmer paper, the white glimmer paper. That would look really nice as well. So let's see what we've got on here. Is there anything small enough to go on here? I think this for a special person on a special day will fit. So let's give that one a try. And I'll pop it on a block. I'm just going to go with, is this C block? No, that's B block. B. And I could go with balmy blue, but that's fairly light. And I'm thinking maybe I'll go with navy because navy's in here as well. So my greeting is going to stand out a little bit more. Don't cover the pretty flower. I'll try not to, Judy. How are you, Judy? Nice to see you here. Hey, Judith. Judy. We have 2 Judys. We have Judy Henderson and Judy Moody. All right, let me just get over this and pop that right there in the middle of that circle. I think the navy is good. Yes, it is. We're going to cover a little bit of the flower. Don't panic. It's not going to look bad. And then, of course, if I wanted to put this on here, I'm still going to see a little bit of the flowers. So don't worry. It's going to be okay. This card is quite dimensional heavy, but that's okay because you know that I like to do that. I'm going to put 3 dimensionals here. Right, just like that. And so we're going to, you could use more dimensionals, but I'm not going to. I feel like I've got enough. And I'm just going to put a bit of seal behind here. And I could use gold swirls for my bling, but I don't actually want to. I think for these colors in, you know, the light blue and white, oh, I lose stuff all the time, Sunny. It just never ends. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you have COVID, Judy. Oh my goodness. It's just, Cherie, that's not a lie. That's it's just a little error of, you know, A3, A4. They're very close, not in size, but they're very close in number, aren't they? I'm sorry to hear you have COVID, Judy. Very sorry. It's one of those things that you just can't, you cannot help it. You can't help getting that silly thing. And you don't know where you got it sometimes. Yeah, it's yucky. All right, I'm going to use some seal, but hopefully you'll manage it well. I certainly, we've had it in our house a number of times. The kids have both had it, and I actually had it a couple of months ago. But you know, we've all been pretty lucky. We managed it really well. Yeah, so hopefully you will too. All right, I'm going to call this almost finished. So if I use these, I just think the yellow gold won't be quite right. Yes, I think silver is better as well, Jody. So I'm thinking maybe some festive pearls might be good for that. I've also got these little guys. What are these? The fine sparkle adhesive back gems. I could use some of these blue ones. They'd be nice. I've also got little red ones that would match in with the pink berries. Those would be nice. But I'm thinking silver. I think you guys are right. And of course, I do have. We do have iridescent rhinestones. We always have iridescent rhinestones because they're so beautiful. We always have those. All right, so I have some silver here in the festive pearls. That's true, Sean. That's my excuse. Makes me more creative because I lose things all the time. All right, so Jody said silver. So, oh, you follow Susan? Yeah, Susan and I are beautiful friends. She's awesome. Stampin' Up had a conference a few months ago in New Orleans, and Susan and I roomed together actually. But yeah, we talk almost pretty much every day. Okay, silver is the go. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to pick that up with my Take Your Pick tool. Wonderful, wonderful thing that it is. If you don't have one of these, best things. They are so cool. And I prefer to take, if you don't have one of these, you can also use the point of a pair of scissors to take it off. That also works. And then I'm just going to throw another one up here. And we could put a ribbon on, but I don't know. I think I might like it without the ribbon. What do you guys think? Do we like this? Hey, Jenny, nice to see you. So what do we think? Is that done, or do we need something else? I don't feel that it particularly needs a bow or anything. Oh, there they are again. Goodness me. Is that the same ones? No, that's different ones because I blocked the last lot. All right, let me block them again. And again. Why are there people like that in the world? Hey? I hope I only blocked the right person. Yeah. We assume it's a he, Anita. I don't know if it's the same one. It looked like the same. It looked like the same one, but I know, same rubbish. Yep. Okay, that's done. All right. Now, I have a question for you guys. Did you want me to do another card with the same set, something completely different? Or would you like me to do, and I could make it, I could do a Christmas card, or I could do it just as it is. Okay, we could recreate the other card that I did, which actually I wouldn't mind doing that and showing you how I did that one with the berries. Let's do that. So I'm going to recreate. Same set, says Margaret. Okay, no problem. If you love this set, if you love it, then this is available right now. You can actually purchase it. So I'm thinking I'm going to recreate this one. All right, so pretty simple little card, but like I said, this is an easy set to use. So it's it really is a set that you could do all kinds of things, from Christmas through to birthdays to, you know, thinking of you, even sympathy cards you could do with some of these. All right, I do like the white berries, and you could color those with Wink of Stella. That'd be nice, but for this card I wanted to make it look a little bit more Christmassy, so I made them red. Okay, oh gosh, la 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 la, sorry guys, I'm gonna, okay, Ellen, definitely we're gonna have to do that. Yeah, they are, aren't they? Is it a bot, do you think, or do you think there's somebody actually doing that? Hey Michelle, I was thinking about you today. I have a technique class coming up next week. I don't know if that was something you're interested in. Let me know if you are. It's on my blog if you're wanting to do that, for the local girls who would like to come to the studio and do a card together. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab my trimmer again, and I have measured, this is already measured to 7.5 centimeters, or roughly 3 inches by, we'll make it 11.5. So I'm going to have a mat underneath it, and the mat is going to be 8 by 12. So this piece on top is 7.5 by 11.5. So it's 0.5 centimeter smaller on each side. So if you're doing it in inches, it's going to be 3 inches for the width, okay, and the length is going to be 4.5. Okay, and then you'll go 1/4 of an inch wider on each side, longer or wider, to be the perfect mat size. So I'm going to grab some Evening Evergreen cardstock. And I'm going to measure it to, I said, didn't I, 8 by 12. I find 8 by 12 a really good size for a centerpiece on a card, and you'll see me use this size quite often. So this one, when with the piece underneath, is 8 by 12. This one is also 8 by 12. Okay, same size piece, just looks different because it's, you know, different paper, but it's the same size. I don't think any. And this one is a similar size, but this is actually cut with the stitch rectangles, but it's very similar width. It's almost 8, a little shorter though. Okay, so this is actually, these stitch rectangles are one of my favorite dies. I use them all the time, and I find them really great to work with. So if you're looking for a good set of dies, they are great. They are one behind my favorite one, okay, and my favorite one is the Stylish Shapes dies. Currently, they're the ones I like the best. All right, so let's, first of all, I'm going to actually color these. So you could use Real Red, you could use Cherry Cobbler, totally up to you. I'm going to use Real Red for mine because that's what I used on my original, and I quite like it. You might notice that the berries, see how they've got like a dark, like a shadow to one side of them. So that's where I applied my darker. So I've got a dark Real Red and I've got a light Real Red. Okay, so I'm just going to I'm going to use the smaller end. This is the dark, and I'm going to put the dark, I'll probably do about 2 of these at a time. If you're using a bigger area, if you're coloring a bigger area, then I would only do 1 at a time, but they're only quite small, so I'll do 2. And I'm going to use a smaller size. And the secret with your your blends, these are blends markers, so they're alcohol markers, is you just sort of circle with that lighter one over the edge of the dark color. So you might see me do it again here. Then circle, 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 circle until they blend together. And then it just looks really nice. Okay, so it's a lovely look. You could do them all in one color, and because you've got that shading underneath, it would work. But there is something really magic about using the two colors together, the dark and the light. So I'm just going to go the light one now. And I'm using the smaller end because I'm only working with a very small area. If I was working with a bigger area, I would use the other end, the thicker end. So this one where the thick line is the paintbrush end. This line, the one I'm using right now, is the skinny line, more like a pen. So, but I find for a small area, that's just fine. And this one's just off the edge there, so I'll just use the one. Tomorrow night we are on Zoom and it's a PJ party. What are we talking about there, Cheryl? So my Friday and Sunday nights are always here live on Facebook and YouTube. Okay. And then tomorrow night, which is Saturday, for those of you who are in the team, we have the Zoom pajama party. Yes. So is that what you were you thinking that was tonight, Cheryl? Is that what you were thinking? Because tomorrow I don't really have a strict agenda or anything tomorrow night. The reason I'm doing it is because I was going to be crafting anyway, because oh, thank you, Judy. Because I'm going to be crafting, I'm doing team gifts for the onstage events. So next week we have a a Stampin' Up training day in Sydney. There's also one in Perth. And one in Auckland, and then there's also ones over in the US and all around. And the whole point of these is that that we have training. It's a good opportunity for everyone to get together. That's probably the most important thing, because we've been apart since the last one we had was November 2019, and can you believe it? In a week we're all getting back together again. So exciting. I've got 27 of my team going to this particular one, and I'm very excited to have them all going because it's been years since I've seen some of them, which some of them I've never met. That's a bit exciting. And they don't do these things all that often, but like I said, this is the first one. There's another one down here hiding. Look at that. We've had all these years of COVID and haven't been able to get together, so I'm very excited to do it. Technique class on Wednesday during the day or at night, Michelle? Up to you. I have room. I can squeeze you into the day one, and you'll be my last person. If you want to come to the day one, or if you want to come at night, just let me know. All right. So now I have this beautiful, look, it comes through because they're alcohol markers. They always go through. That's perfectly normal. Oh, thank you. Cindy's just reminding everyone to hit the like button on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please, 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 please do that. Okay. It's really great because I know that, you know, the channel is growing all the time, and it makes me feel pretty awesome to know that, you know, that people are watching and enjoying it, and that the channel is growing. So that's very exciting. All right. So now I've got, let me grab my, we've got these beautiful dies. Now I could use any of these, but I'm actually not going to use this one. I'm going to use the one that I used on the other card, which is the smaller oval, this frame with like little lines all the way around. So to get that to work, give me a second. I'm going to get my cut and emboss machine, we'll put the red blends away. I'll bring my cut and emboss machine in. So to do this, I'm going to jump back a little bit because it helps you guys to see if it's a little further away, because it takes up a lot of space. So then you get to see more of the mess on my desk, but that's okay. You can see I've already cut one out of this. In fact, it was probably this very one. And we're going to try not to throw it around. I'm going to pop that on here and quickly grab my top plate. And pop that on there, and we'll run the whole thing through. Give me a second. Oh, guess where my top plate is? I've already got it on my... Right. Let me try that again, shall I? I was just thinking to myself, that doesn't feel right. Day, Michelle, you're very welcome to. We'll serve lunch. I have a hair appointment later that afternoon, so I have to be gone by 2:45, so you won't have to worry that I'm going to keep you all day, because I've got to leave here by about 2:30. So we'll be done by then, well and shortly. All right, so now I have an oval to use on another card, and I probably will. All right, let's pull that out. And actually, while I'm here, we'll also do a label as well. So I've just got some white here, and this is my stitch rectangles I was talking to you about. I love them. They are so useful. Anyone else got these? Because they're so good. Okay, let's see. I think, was it this one? Which one is it? I think it's this one. That's the right one. Let's check. Yep, that's the one. So I'm going to pop that. If you're wondering why I'm doing a funny angle, it's because I've got a crease in this paper. So let's push that through. Oh, dimensional backing there. Dimensional backings get in the weirdest of places. I found them on my cat's, when my kitten was, he's very inquisitive, and I found one on his nose one day. And I've also found them down my shirt, all sorts of weird and wonderful places. Anyone else? Yes. Judy, you said they're your go-tos. Do you mean the stitch rectangles or the stylish shapes? They're both good, aren't they? All right, so now I have this little guy here, and you can see this is all coming together. So this is going to go in the middle, and I didn't want, actually, I've noticed that the way this is positioned, I'm getting to see some of them, but I want to make sure that I can still see plenty of the berries. If I put this right in the middle, I'm going to lose a few, so I'm actually going to put it slightly up, but I'm going to center it so it's the same distance from both sides. And I'm going to use some mini dimensionals, and I actually found I got a little bit better. They were a little bit less visible if you use the black ones, because the color is dark. So on a darker color, you'll find that the black mini dimensionals, or the black dimensionals, if that's what you're using, in something like this, you need the mini ones, but they actually hide quite well, the black ones. So chocolate in the fridge. Yes, in my bra too, Cheryl. Not chocolate, the dimensional backings. Right, I'm lifting this up a tiny bit so that we get to see more of these beautiful berries. All right, so that's sitting up now. You could just glue it straight down, but I kind of liked it up a little bit. All right, so then we've got this beautiful Season's Greetings here. And as I said before, this came from the Merriest Moments set, which is this one right here. We do have a Merry Christmas in the florets, the framed and festive set, this one. Okay, but it's a little bit small. Okay, so you can see it's quite small. This one's a bit bigger, so it's a better size. So let's grab that. Here it is, Season's Greetings. If I was using a smaller label, that Merry Christmas would be perfect. And I'm going to do it in my Evening Evergreen. Oh, too far away. Sorry. Thank you. Thanks, Jody. Is that better? Oh, try and line it up so I hope I'm not making anyone seasick. Sorry about that. All right, so we're going to go Season's Greetings. I love Friday and Sunday nights and just crafting and forgetting about all the other rubbish that's out there. It's always nice, isn't it? All right, so we've got our Season's Greetings. All right, I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals behind. But there's my, here it is. I don't want to put the dimensionals too close to the ends because I want this to be at the same height as my frame. So I'm actually going to put my dimensionals. We're going to lose a couple of berries, but that's okay. We're going to put them here. All right, and we're going to pop that right across here. Just like that. Whoops, got a dimensional backing here. There we go. So it's coming together, right? Liking how this looks? It's a very easy card. And I used, on this one, I've used the silver festive pearls as well, because obviously I'm having a thing for those at the moment. But I'm actually wondering whether on this one, maybe I will use some green or red embellishments, just to have something different. Because I keep talking about the festive pearls. This one has some the light green, this soft succulent, which are really quite pretty. Here's a bone folder there. All right, and it's going to go also, of course, on dimensionals. You could go black or white. It won't matter because no one's going to see these. Going a little bit from the end, from the edge, I should say. Red, says Jody. Okay. Oh, Jean, hi. We have Nola here from Oregon as well. I don't know if she's still here, but she was earlier. I wondered if you guys might know each other. Of course, you know, not like Oregon's a very big place or anything, right? Sorry. I know you don't know everybody in Oregon. I've also got some like little metallic ones, but they would clash with the silver frame, so that's not right. And I've also got some of these, so I could use some of these. But I think you're right, Jody. I think the red is going to be. Here we go. We have some red ones here. So many choices, isn't there, when it comes to embellishments? All right, let's use our pokey tool here on the end of the Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to put, now on this one, I added them around. This time I'm going to add them to the end of the, you can hear Crumpet meowing outside the door. And I'm wondering if that's because somebody hasn't fed them. It's possible. And then, of course, the last finishing touch is we're going to have, now we could have the Evening Evergreen ribbon, which is the one that I've used here. Or we could go with the soft succulent ribbon, which would probably, maybe that's a bit more contrast. That might be better. How about we go with the soft succulent ribbon and then we can decide which one we like the best. What do you think of that idea? You know what? Nola is from Eugene. So there you go. So yes, I don't expect you would know her, but she said she follows Susan as well. So there you go. I know you do too. All right. All right, so I'm going to cut this off with my ribbon scissors. I always cut them on an angle They're less likely to fray if you do that. But this ribbon's pretty good. It doesn't really fray anyway. And I'm going to pop this on a glue dot. So to use a glue dot, for anyone who doesn't know, you put whatever it is you want to stick onto the glue dot and give it a push. Okay, make it get really good contact, and then you lift the whole thing off and the glue dot comes as well, and then you pop it where you want it. And that's how easy it is to use a glue dot. Well, we're covering up our berry a little bit there. So what do we think? Do we like the darker ribbon or do we like the lighter ribbon? What do you guys think? I like both, but I'm leaning towards the lighter ribbon because I think it's a little bit more contrast. I'm so glad, Nola, you got those stylish shaped eyes. They're fantastic. So, so good. Yeah, I think so too, Ellen. I think the succulent is better. Yep, and everyone is saying the same. So I think the light ribbon is the... I'm actually going to be doing a class in a couple of weeks. Here's a secret. Can I tell you guys a secret? This is something I do. Okay, I've got an in-person class in a couple of weeks that I run at a cafe. Some of the girls might be watching, but up in the Hunter Valley. And sometimes I'll make a card and I think, oh, this would be a great card to make for that class, because it needs to be... I have cards. I make 6 cards in the course of a day, like from 10 till about 3, and so we all make all the cards, but I need to have 2 samples because we have 2 tables of people. So sometimes I'll make a second card here on my live because now I have 2 samples to use for my class, so I haven't got to sit down and make another card. See, I'm cheating. Or maybe you could say I'm being efficient. I don't know. That sounds better than cheating, doesn't it? Yeah, I like them both too, Eugene. But I think I'm going to take both to my class. So one will have the darker ribbon and one will have the lighter ribbon, and then I'll let them choose. So that works. Cheat. I know, right, Jody? Efficient. That's what I am. Just, it does save me a lot of time if I have 2 samples made before the class. Because I sit down and I cut up all the pieces for this to take to class, and there might be 12 of them. The most I have usually is about 15. But if you're making 6 cards and there's 15 or even 12, that's quite a lot of cards to cut up. So it's a fair bit of work, but I can really minimize the work I do by having my cards already, the samples already made, and then all I've got to do is sit down and chop them up. So yes, we can be cheating twins together, Cherie. There you go. Oh, it went well. Thank you for saying that, Jean. You've had it already. There seems to be a bit of that route going around. Cherie was saying she's coming up to that as well. So, so how are you feeling? You back home? There you go. Exactly, Nairi. It went well, but you're in recovery mode. I'm so glad. So what is the time that, how long do they tell you it's going to take to start to be back to whatever normal might be? Have they given you any idea? Yeah, there you go. See, Jean is letting you know it's going to be okay, Cherie. 6 weeks. There you go. Yep. My mother-in-law had both knees done, not at the same time, like one and then the other sometime later. And yeah, she's definitely had a lot of relief. So that's been good. Yep. It's a big thing, that's for sure, And that's the thing, our poor old knees, they wear out, don't they? They put up with a lot. Oh, yeah, 6 weeks no driving. Ugh. Yeah, that would be sad. I remember, having a cesarean, and they said 6 weeks no hanging washing on the line. Like, yeah, that's going to happen. Who else is going to do it? But anyway, you do what you have to do. Yes, efficiency, exactly, Michelle. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to call this a night. So we have one card here that we made, and another card here, and these are both made using the new fitted florets collection. So there is, like I said, You can purchase the whole collection if you want to, or you can just just get the paper or just get the bits that you want. If you are getting the whole lot here in Australia, there is a code. Actually, I'll put the code up on the screen for you. I'll do that right now. So it's called Fitting Florets Collection, and it is $172.25. That's 2 stamp sets, dies, paper, and the embellishments, the swirls. And its item code is 163129. 163129. There you go. That's what it is. And I'll put that on the screen so you can see it. Does that make sense? But the Fitting Florets collection is named after the paper because it's called the Fitting Florets DSP. So there you go. I'm looking forward to seeing you Sunday night, people. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. For those of you who are in the team, I will see you guys tomorrow night. Jami's on, beverage of choice, and we're going to get our craft on. I'm going to be working on my my team gifts for on stage, but you're welcome to work on whatever you would like. So if you're in the team, love you to join us tomorrow night on Zoom, and I've put the link to that on the Insomniacs group. Okay. All right, people, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you Sunday night. All right. Bye-bye.